Hey guys, Sigma My House, bidding you welcome. I'm back again. Just doing a random one. Don't know how many of these I'll keep up with, or if I'll really keep up with it at all. My hair looks terrible. Well, not getting any better, but it could get a lot worse. Just video game pickups, no hunting footage. I don't really know if I want to keep up with that. I've just been crazy busy. Trying not to get overwhelmed by like how much stuff I have to do all the time, but that's neither here nor there. I want to make this video. There's a lot of stuff to show. I have been active, both in keeping fit, but also with game hunting and stuff. Been doing a lot of op shopping. Heaps of stuff bought and sold. eBay business has been spectacular. This last financial year, was easily my best on eBay. I think I did double what I did the year previous, so I mean, I'm doing something right. I'm keeping it up. People seem very happy with the way I'm shipping things and the shipping time, condition and stuff. A little bit up and down of condition. I'm finding as I'm entering into new avenues, some people are very picky, especially with CDs. CD collectors want stuff to be absolutely mint, so I have to be more vigilant about buying things that are like not in perfect shape, bad cases, bad discs, etc. But it's the same with DVDs. I've always known that. I've just been getting lazy lately of especially if I'm buying like a big stack of something from an op shop, forgetting to like check every single disc. I'll usually check one or two and go, yep, that's fine, it's perfect. And then it's not until I go to ship the thing that it's actually, I find out it's a little bit scratched up, and then I have to message the buyer and ask if they're okay with it. Although, as you will find out, I have a new guy to clean discs with. He's a little bit more expensive than the last guy I was taking him to, but his disc resurfacer is 100 times better, so it's worth the investment. So I'll get into stuff. The first thing is something you actually saw in a previous video. You might remember this. I bought for $3 from Cash Converters. World Heroes Anthology from the Cash Converters in Goodna. It was in really not great shape when I bought it. Someone commented on my video that they actually bought this exact copy and brought it back because it wasn't playing past the load up screen. But I put it in a new case. I took it to this new guy who cleaned up the disc. And it actually looks really nice now. I wouldn't say it's mint, but it's definitely way better than it was. You can see like little surface level scratches, but compared to how deep they were before, this is a much greater improvement. And now it seems to work perfectly fine. I got into a game, I started doing some fighting. I'm not very good at these World Heroes games. I'm not very good at any fighting game, to be honest. But it's a good one for the collection. I still have my PS2 collection. I've not sold anything off. I still have everything. But I have been giving it consideration. Because, like, my wife sent me a link, Channel 9 News, saying, like, retro games are rare and expensive, and if you have them in your garage, you should sell them. So, as time goes on, more and more people are finding out about, like, retro gaming and how lucrative it can be. For this reason, I did not go to Bookfest in June. I completely avoided it like the plague, as I've done the previous 2 or 3 Bookfests. The last one I went to was just absolutely crazy. And I was overhearing someone in a place I was in. Went to the tip shop one time and didn't find anything gaming related or DVD related. That's something people are getting into as well. But I overheard 2 DVD buyers talking about how Bookfest was just absolutely crazy this year. You know, shoulder to shoulder. You got in at 7 o'clock, and even then there's barely anything to find because people are just going, you know, straight to the DVDs. From what they were saying, people were going to the tables and just like pushing stuff into their trolleys. Like any video game stuff they found, push into their trolleys And then when the trolley was full, they take it over to a corner and check every single one and look up prices, you know, kind of stuff I don't want to be into at all. Everything I know is up here. I do check stuff on my phone sometimes if I'm not sure, especially like CDs and DVDs, but gaming, it's all up here. I know it all. Which is why, when I went to the Lifeline garage sale, which was at the Ipswich Lifeline warehouse, I got there like 2 hours late, and I actually still found gaming stuff. There was good gaming stuff to be had there that no one had touched. I saw other people with gaming stuff, a lot of Wii stuff that some guy had, PS2 stuff another guy had, but no one grabbed this. For $5. Blitz the League 2. This is for my own collection. I actually do already have an American copy of this, but this is alternate artwork, and I'm like, well, I have so many PS3 games, I might as well throw this one into the collection too. Needs a new case. Manual's a little bit battered, but the disc is in perfect shape, pretty much. I was really surprised that nobody grabbed this. A place full of resellers 2 hours after it opened, and no one grabbed this $80 game. I'm pretty sure it's still $80. It's a very expensive one, very hard to find. But yeah, I found it. Other than that, the only op-shop stuff is just yesterday. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I think it was Saturday, so 2 days ago. I went into a local op-shop in Goodna and found these two PC games. Peter Jackson's King Kong, great game. Nothing much to say about it, but I didn't have like a good version of this game. I've had the PS2 version for a long time, but it's not actually a very good version of the game. The best version, I think, is the PC and Xbox 360, but I don't have an Xbox 360 collection. So when I saw this for $1, I thought, well, yeah, this will work just fine on my computer. It's all there. Really a good game to get, really good game. One of the better movie titles out there. And we have this one here, which I've never heard of before, but it's by BSOCal, who made the, they've made other adventure games. I don't remember exactly which ones, but I think I've got a few of them on Steam. Is BSOCal Paradise. I've never heard of this game, but for $1 I thought I'd grab it. I looked it up, it seems pretty rare. Someone's trying to get like $40 for it online. I don't think it's selling, but it's there. All the discs are there. 1, 2, 3. Cool little find there for $1. The last op-shop find is here. Just today I saw one of those knockoff NES Minis. I thought about buying it. I think it was like $15, but I thought, honestly, I'm unlikely to ever even plug in and play this thing. I can emulate anything on my laptop. But what I did find about a month ago, it was all in a bag. We have a DS Lite here. A white DS Lite. Turns on. Works well. Low on battery. It's got like some kind of screen protector on it, but that's fine. Cool thing about this, it had an R4 card inside of it. I don't think R4 cards are worth anything anymore, but I remember when R4 cards were all the rage. Yeah, if you had a Nintendo DS and you didn't have an R4 card, like, people made fun of you, man. Like, oh, you buy the games? What are you, stupid? Don't you know you can download them? But what was cool about this, it came with like all the little booklets and stuff, so if I ever found a Nintendo DS in box, I can throw this stuff in there and make it nice and complete. It came with some too, old earbuds. A nice carrying case for it, which is good. And most importantly, a Nintendo DS charger. And this is worth as much as what I paid for all of it, which was $15 or $20. But that makes Nintendo DS number 9, I think. I've got too many. I always think of it like with the PSP, I've got a few of them. I've got 3 of them, but none of them work right. So I always think like in the future, what if I really get into the PSP and I can't make it work anymore and it's harder to play games? Because the PSP, believe it or not, I used to play that non-stop. Before I got my PlayStation Vita in 2012, and even up until like I moved out of home, my parents' place, I was playing the PSP almost non-stop. I'd say it was my most used gaming system up until I got the PS Vita. And after that, the PS Vita became my most used one because I was buying like every brand new game to try out on it. Yeah, I've got so many great PSP games, and I've gotten so many more over the years that I just can't play now, which is a shame because it's a bit harder to emulate PSP stuff, and it's really not the same as having it on the handheld. We'll go to EB Games. A lot of this stuff was like end of financial year stuff, super markdown, super clearance. The only thing I got from EB Games was this one here, Snack World The Dungeon Crawl Gold, on the Nintendo Switch for $9, marked down from $29 to $9. Dungeon crawling action, never heard of the game before. I really don't keep up with game releases or anything. I don't know if this is good or bad. I used to be so heavily involved into gaming, and like I'd say up until 2018, I knew every game that was coming out. I'd get excited for games, but now it's all passed me by. It's too much to keep up with. I'll go to JB Hi-Fi, who have been having a really good 2 for $30 deal on things. 4, 5. I must have another one here. All of these games are in the 2 for $30 deal. I must have another one somewhere because I'm only counting 5 games here. That's alright. I'll just show you what I got and you'll know. 2 for $30, so $15 each. For my birthday, I got a JB Hi-Fi gift card. I've blown through most of that. I think I've still got like $15 on it or something. But I also got one of those JB Hi-Fi Perks cards. I only got it to get the $10 voucher. And with it, I bought this game because I was interested in it. Ember. Came out to $4. $14 down to $4. It's not a very good game, unfortunately. It's very indie. It's very shoddy. Janky in a bad way. Janky as in hard to play. I was really hoping this would be like Blazing Rangers or something, or there's a firefighting game on the Wii that's actually really good. Real Heroes Firefighters is a really good game. I was hoping it would be more like that, or like Alone in the Dark Inferno, but unfortunately it's just not. It's just not really fun to play or put out the fires. You don't get a lot of response for your actions. Like, you're spraying the fire with water and you can't really tell if it's putting it out. It just kind of disappears after a while. I'll probably sell that one on. I'm not too interested in keeping it. I've got a couple of PS5 games, both of which I've played and completed. Short games, but pretty good games. I swear there was another one. I just don't know, fellas. But we have new Joe and Mac Caveman Ninja. I remember I've said this in a previous video that I was surprised a new Joe and Mac game was made and I wanted to give it a try. I thought $15 was a pretty good entry price for this. It was brand new. I unsealed it and played it. Kind of like little bonus goodies. I don't like how they just chucked in the case there. It's very awkward. But that's how they did it in the factory. It was a pretty good game. Not as good as the original. It feels like a Flash game, actually. Like, if someone had made this 10 years ago, I'd say it was like a really good Flash game, but for it to get like an official release, and if you had bought this brand new for $60, I think you'd be very, very disappointed. But at a $15 price point, I think it was a pretty good deal. It's pretty good. It's just Joe and Mac, side-scrolling action. You can play like an arcadey style one, or a version where levels are extended, but the extended levels just feel padded out. There's no like extra things really. It's just more level. It's pretty good. This game was really, really good. I really enjoyed this one. I thought $15 was a great price for this. We have Greek Memories of Azure. This is a side-scrolling kind of hack-and-slash puzzle game. It's not really an RPG, it's more like hack-and-slash. You play as 3 different characters. You start as 1, then you get 2, then you get 3. And different characters can do different things. If I was to compare it to anything, it's kind of like... Three Dirty Dwarves on the Saturn, if you ever played that. Or what's it called? Or the Three Vikings on the Mega Drive? What was that game called? Where you're Vikings and there's 3 of you and each one has like different power-ups but also different weaknesses. It's like a more action and fast-paced version of that. There is puzzle solving, but not as much as action. It gets very puzzle-based at the end. The final 2 areas are very heavily puzzle-based. But I can happily say that I went through this whole game without a guide. I did not use a guide at all. And I figured everything out by myself. So if I can do it, I'm sure you guys can too. It's all hand-drawn too. It's very, very beautiful. Definitely check this one out. It's pretty cheap right now too. You can get it pretty cheap. But there's so many games that come out and I just can't keep up with them. I think to try and keep up with gaming now, my brain would get overloaded. It really would. I'd have to like completely dedicate huge chunks of my life to keeping up with gaming, and I just can't do it. I'm happy to just buy things when I can find them. This was cool. Disney Classic Games Collection, Jungle Book, Aladdin, and Lion King. I can easily emulate all of these and do the exact same like time reversal gimmicks as you can in these, but it was part of the 2 for $30 one, so I thought, oh, it's cool looking. It's in my system at the moment. I'm going to play these next. I've beat Aladdin. I think I've failed at the Lion King, and I've failed at the Jungle Book. Yeah, I think I failed at the Lion King, because I tried to play it once, and even with save states, I got past the level, I can't wait to be king level, which is notoriously broken. Like, you try to jump on flamingos and hippo tails, and unless you're pixel perfect, you just don't land. Especially on the Super Nintendo version. On the Mega Drive version, it's not as bad, but the Super Nintendo version of this game, it's unplayable. Or maybe it's the other way around, the Super Nintendo one is better. I don't know what they were thinking of the controls. I guess no one properly play tested it, or maybe they play tested it and they couldn't fix it in time before release. I don't know if they fixed them for this one. I hope they did. I guess we'll find out. But I'm pretty sure this is the Super Nintendo version of Aladdin, not the Mega Drive version. The Mega Drive version is like one of the better games on the Mega Drive. The Super Nintendo one is good too. I think Jungle Book is just kind of a run-of-the-mill platformer. I don't think it's a great game or anything. We have 2 brand new sealed games. I was actually hoping I wouldn't get these brand new sealed because I wanted to sit down and play them sooner rather than later. Like, sealed stuff, I don't care about it. I'll open the seal, I don't care. I buy a game to play it. I'm not sending shit to be graded or nothing. I bought this game here, No Straight Roads. I've been looking at this for a while. It's kind of like a rhythm-based combat game, which sounds pretty cool. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I want to give it a go. And that was brand new sealed. It's pretty cool. This is going to be a long one, folks. And The World Ends With You Neo, which I have the Nintendo DS game. I've given it a go before. It seems very obtuse and difficult to get into. Like, you would have to, like, properly dedicate time to learning it. This one seems a bit more accessible. I'm going to sit down and play this one as my preferred version. It's crazy what games get remakes now. I would never think The World Ends With You would get a remake. But it did. We go to Cash Converters. It'll have to wait till next time. I've got 2 more games in the car from Cash Converters. Murdered Soul Suspect, and only yesterday on the PS4 that I bought just today, but they're gonna have to wait. This game was $5. Borderlands 3, this was a bit of a pity purchase. I'm not big on Borderlands. I think that the games are just fine. Yeah, I bought that. Yeah, sometimes I go in there and I'm not finding anything, so stuff I've seen 100 times before looks a bit more appealing. These I bought on the web shop. I don't find anything on the web shop, man. Web shop for me is dead. I'm sure it's good for other people. I cannot find anything on there anymore. These were $2 each. UFC. I do follow the UFC occasionally. I just watched Volkanovski retain his featherweight title yesterday. That was a lot of fun. I thought Rodriguez was going to win. He seemed like a stylistic nightmare for Volkanovski, you know, like so much taller, long legs, knows how to use his kicks, dangerous on the ground, but Volkanovski just overwhelmed him like he does everyone. Let me fix this up. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. I bought this because it had the Modern Warfare remastered campaign, so I thought it looked pretty cool. I think I already have this game, but not the Modern Warfare one. It's got a digital download code. Apparently it expired 3 years ago. So I guess I don't need this, whatever. It's $2. And Lego Marvel Superheroes. I enjoy these Lego games sometimes. I did get really into Lego Jurassic World. And, Lego Star Wars when I was younger. I thought $2 for this seemed like a pretty good price. $2. That was everything from Cash Converters. We'll go to Pennywise. As part of their end of financial year sale, they were having a 20% off sale on everything store-wide. I actually got one of their workers in trouble because I went in the day before the sale just to have a browse around. And as I was leaving the store, I said to the guy, "Alright, I'll be back tomorrow to buy some stuff at 20% off." And he told me he got in a little bit of trouble for that. His manager told him, "Oh, tell him we'll do it now." But I was already out the door. Apparently his manager heard him. Guess I was loud. These were all 20% off. Nothing crazy here, but stuff I wanted to play, stuff I wanted for my collection too. Killzone Shadowfall. I remember when this came out, I thought it looked really, really good. It still looks pretty good. It's a pretty good first-person shooter. I figured for $3 minus 20% off. It was a pretty good price for it. Something I don't think I had. I'm not going to look too hard. Scarlet Nexus Total Blind Buy. $9.95 minus 20% off, so just about $8. Looks like a anime Monster Hunter style game. I'll get around to playing it eventually. It looks pretty good. I think $8 was a pretty good deal on it. Link Your Minds Unlock the Future. I guess it's an anime too. Total Blind Buy. Fort Boyard, $3. Looks like a minigame compilation. Might be fun to play with my missus for a little bit. Yeah, 1 to 4 players, I guess. Something to play for 30 minutes before we get tired of pretending to have fun with it. MotoGP 18, this was only $4 minus 30% off. I thought I'd buy this to try and sell. Not sure if it's worth much, but some of the MotoGP games do hold their value. Dishonored Death of the Outsider. I really, really like the first Dishonored, and I chugged my way through Dishonored 2 and ended up finishing it last year. I thought it was a pretty good game, but not as good as the first one. Usually I'll be enamored with the first game and then struggle a little bit with the second one just because I've already had my fill of the experience. So even if they add new things, I find it a little bit difficult to get into it in the same way I did the first game. This was DLC that they put on its own disc and sold. I'm not sure how long it is or anything. This is a great game. Evil Within 2, I thought that was a really great game. I don't know much about that one otherwise. I think that was a game that DSP Rage quit, right? Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance Day 1 Edition. This was $7 minus 30 or 20% off. Looks like a pretty fun game, hack and slash game, Dungeons and Dragons. Only one player, unfortunately. I was hoping this would be like one I could play with my wife. She likes to play games with me together. But just one player. A game I've wanted to get into for a while. I was always telling myself I wanted to find this for $5 or under, but I figured $9 minus 20% off was probably the best I was going to do, so just a bit over $7 for Shenmue 3 Day 1 Edition. I haven't played Shenmue 1 or 2, but I did watch the Shenmue 2, what was it? Let's see if I can find it. I did watch the Shenmue the movie DVD on my Xbox copy of Shenmue 2. So I'm a little bit up to date with the story, you know. Guy gets heirloom stolen, he wants to get it back, journey across China, that kind of thing. Yeah. He's gonna find his father's killer one of these days. I think they still have one more game to complete this series, but I heard this one didn't sell very well and they printed a lot of copies of it. So it might not get a sequel. Although, there was never much of a chance of this game getting made, so you never know these days, eh? It's crazy what companies will throw money at. They just want stuff to work, and if they see something as nostalgic, everything gets a remake. It's really crazy. I thought this was a pretty good deal, but now I'm seeing it everywhere for around this price. $20 minus 20% off for The Quarry, because I paid $16 for it. I actually wanted to sit down and play this game because someone at work was telling me that he really enjoyed it. He's like, he played it heaps of times all the way through, and like, depending on how you play it, you get all of these different endings, all the different characters and stuff. I think it might say it here. I forget exactly, but he said that there were like more endings than he could count and remember, so it sounded very interesting. Definitely wanted to give it a try. I think it's made by the same people as Until Dawn, because it seems like that kind of a game. Artwork's a bit damaged. Whatever, I've bought it to play it. It doesn't matter too much to me. The disc is in good shape, and that's what matters to me. And finally, from the Pennywise store, this was $24.95 minus 20% off, which I thought is probably the best deal I'll find on this. If I find a better deal on it, I'll just sell that one on or sell this one on. It's a game I've played before, and it's a game I've sold before. I think it still goes for around $40 or so. It's just one that's never gone down in price. It is Nier Automata. This one's a little bit raggedy. Bad artwork, but the disc is in good shape, and that's what matters. I only finished this game once. I know you're supposed to finish it 3 times to get all of the different, to get the whole story unlocked, but I only finished it the once. I started getting into a second playthrough, but then I figured, you know, I could play this 2 more times, or I could sink my teeth into something else, and I decided to sink my teeth into something else. But it is a great game. I really enjoyed the first one too, the first Nier. I think that's on the PS4 as well, Nier Replicant? Is that a remake of the first game, or like a port? Either way, I really like the Nier games. I never played the Drakengard series, which is what these games were spun off from. But I really like the Nier games, especially the first one. I think I like the first one a bit more than this one. Although I do remember in this game, one of the very first things I did, and I had to replay like maybe an hour's worth of game time for it. Before I saved the game for the first time, I was looking through my items and things I could equip and unequip. And I unequipped like a brain chip, and the game just ended. Like, the game saw that as me committing suicide to, like, take my brain out, and the game just ended before I could ever save it. Which I thought was, like, really funny at the time. Also a little bit frustrating that I have to go through this whole factory sequence again. CEX. I've not been keeping up with CEX at all. Since they sold all of their DVDs, haven't really been in much. I never really bought many DVDs from there. But, it seemed like their gaming stuff isn't really that much either. It's been... I still have a saved list of over 100 games on the CEX website, and I've stopped checking it. I probably haven't checked it for over a month, but there was a 6-month period where I didn't see a single thing pop up as available in stock. Because I guess this stuff is just getting... either it's getting too hard to find, or it's getting to the point where people buy it as soon as they see it pop up. They see a notification on their emails. This game has become available to buy, CEX website, and they're buying it as soon as it goes up. But I did find a few things. I traded in some stuff. You guys might remember I found a scratched copy of Black Ops 2 and a few other games at a cash converters. They were very cheap. I took them to a CEX and they took them happily. And with that store credit, I got 2 games. First is an only on Xbox title, one I wanted for my collection. We have Magic the Gathering Battlegrounds. This is a card strategy RPG. Looked interesting. I actually don't know heaps about this game, but it looks interesting enough to give it a go. I was a novice at Magic the Gathering when I was in high school and TAFE, but I never really got into it as much as other people, like deck building and stuff. I never really got into it. This is in good shape. The disc was pretty minty. Yeah, disc was pretty good. Couple little scratches, but that's okay. That's something I was finding with CEX as well. A lot of stuff I was buying was scratched up. You know, you'd have to take it back, and it would just be a pain in the arse to do so. This one was in good shape. It really just seemed like there was no good quality control of their stores. Maybe they were hiring people that, you know, didn't give a fuck or whatever. They would always hire young people, which I didn't agree with. Because, young people are going to know about phones and stuff. They do not care about media. And they're not going to think about, condition and stuff. Other stuff, too, some stuff I would take to CEX, they'd tell me they can't take it because it's the wrong region or whatever. And I'd try to explain to them, look, this is a Wii game with the UK rating. This does work on Australian systems. I have played this myself, and they said, no, we still can't take it. Usually if I was dealing with a manager, they'd know better, but even some of the managers were just completely clueless. So I really didn't like the experience much. I don't go there very often now. Yeah. I grabbed this game too, just to use up the remaining of my credit. I didn't really want it per se, but I thought, it's one for the collection. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Echoes of Time. There used to be a time when I got a lot of good stuff from CEX. All of this 3DS stuff you see, that all came from CEX. All of my DS stuff, all from CEX. A lot of my good titles came from CEX. Even a lot of my good Wii stuff came from CEX. I'd just wait for a good cheap copy to come up online. They would be priced under eBay, and I'd buy it with store credit. It was fantastic, but it just doesn't seem like it works too well like that anymore. Not for me, anyway. Stuff I'd rather just sell online. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Echoes of Time. I know nothing about this game. I never played Crystal Chronicles on the GameCube. I heard it was fine. It's kind of like an action RPG. I remember looking up gameplay of it, and it seemed kind of basic. Which I'm not against. I don't mind a basic game, but I don't know. Didn't seem like my kind of a game. This copy of this game had a few scratches too. That was always my problem with CEX. They just really didn't take care of the stock they had. They had a disc resurfacer too, but I don't know if it's their disc resurfacer, but anytime I'd ask them to resurface a disc, it would come out looking exactly the same as when they put it in. Oh. And I think this one I paid cash for. I got it on the CEX website. This was ages ago. This is from August, the 30th of August. So this is how old these pickups are. But this is something I actually wanted to sit down and play. I don't remember who I saw talking about this game, but someone mentioned it, and I thought, yeah, that's a game I'd like to try. It is Nero. Nothing Ever Remains Obscure. It's just a first-person puzzle game. Kind of like a walk-in sim, but you do puzzles every now and again. I was hoping there'd be like more horror elements, maybe monsters chasing you, but there really isn't. There's no danger throughout the game at all. Some of the puzzles are pretty hard. There is a lot to do in the game. You can beat it in about 2 to 3 hours, but you can also take your time and like find a lot of collectibles and stuff. I did find quite a few, but I only spent about 4 hours with the game, and I was happy with that. It is a very beautiful game. The graphics themselves aren't great, but like the art style and stuff is really, really nice. It's got like a really nice kind of nighttime with the moon illuminating things kind of aesthetic going on, and I really, really like it. Definitely like a style over substance kind of game. Yeah, that was $25. Good price. And the last thing here, I had a retro game store open up in the Red Bank Plaza, which is the closest shopping center to where I live, so that's dangerous, eh? Retro game store opens up right on your doorstep. But I thought I'd check them out. I actually won a bet at work. Believe it or not, like we bet on the football sometimes, and I always lose, but this time I won. And I won like $300, so I thought, fuck, we've got some cash, let's go spend it up, man. Let's go get some retro games. I had some stuff to get cleaned as well, so I got those cleaned at this place. I actually know the guy who opened the store. He used to set up at the markets. His name is Eddie. A really nice guy, really knowledgeable about gaming and stuff. Knows his prices, but works deals as well. You're not going to get stuff for like thrift store prices, but you're going to pay less than what the things are worth. Like, less than what they're selling for on eBay. Not listed prices. He's looking at like sold prices and going like a little bit lower than that. Which is fantastic of the guy. You know, like there's so many retro stores I've been into where it's just like, they pull the price out of their ass. It's super expensive for everything. Everything's expensive. This guy actually, like, he understands that a lot of retro gamers are also, like, bargain hunters, and he's willing to work on prices. And I think he also mistakes prices, too. This first one here, I think he's done the old CEX thing, where he's looked up sold listings, but then gotten confused with regions. That's what I've noticed a lot with CEX. When I would buy DS stuff, I would be getting Australian PAL stuff, but marked at the price of a UK PAL item, which is often like half of what the Australian PAL item is worth. And I'm not super crazy into values when it comes to my own collection, but if I go to resell something, you know, I want to get the most money for it. So if I see something that's Australian PAL, and I know it's worth more, and I want it for my collection, I'll buy it. Like this game. He ended up giving me this for $40. He knocked $5 off the price. We have Catherine Full Body. This is Australian PAL, and I think I saw one recently sell for $80, the Australian PAL copy. This is one of those ones, you know, it went up for sale, it was available for a while, it went on sale for maybe like $60, and then I never saw another copy again. So it's good to finally get a copy. I played a bit of this on the PS3. I think I got through maybe a third of the game, and then one of the cube puzzle levels just kicked my ass, and I just could not figure it out. But I want to get back into it. This is like a bigger version of the game. There's 3 versions of Catherine in this one. My wife's name is Catherine. She doesn't look like any of these people, though. Maybe if the one in the middle had brown hair, I guess she'd look the most like that one. Yeah, it's a very interesting game. I remember the special edition of this game came in like a pizza box, and it had a pair of underwear with it. it's a very strange game, but very fun. I do want to get more stuck into that and finally finish it. I've wanted this game for a while, ever since I checked my Wii collection to see what games I did and didn't have, and I was super surprised to find out I did not have Mario Party 9. This was $59, which is pretty good. That's about what it goes for. Maybe like a little bit more. But it was a pretty good deal for it. I've been looking for a copy for a long time in good condition. I saw copies in CEX before, which were a little bit more expensive. And the condition wasn't there. You know, it had like bad artwork or, you know, no manual or something. This one's extra complete. Oh, remember Nintendo Club? Club Nintendo? Buy the game brand new, redeem the rewards, redeem the points. It was a perfect system. And you could get like a cool thing once a year for supporting your favorite game company. Yeah, Mario Party 9. This disc is it's perfect, man. I don't know if the guy resurfaces it. He's got a really good disc resurfacer there. I was talking to him about it because I am interested in getting a disc resurfacer for myself. For my own buying and selling. If I want to go to the next level of buying and selling, I do need to get a disc resurfacer eventually. He was telling me about like investment prices. He was telling me about how, I think he said the one he had was like pretty top of the line. It was you order it off of a website. It's not always available. It's often sold out. But you can be expected to pay $2,000 to $3,000 for the one he's got. It's not a big thing either. It's only small. But he said it's about, I think he said $2,000 or $3,000, and like the bottle of cleaning fluid it comes with, they're $299.95 each, so $300 each, and you get, I think, 2,030-second cleans with it. So it's not a cheap investment. But if I was to, like, say if I was to sell my whole collection and list it all individually on eBay, I would have to get one. Because I never worried about, like, condition when I was buying stuff. I would always go, like, yep, I want this game. I found a copy of Silent Hill for $1. I'm gonna buy it. It didn't matter to me that it was a bad case. Didn't matter to me that I had to print out my own artwork. Didn't matter to me that the game disc was scratched up. All I cared about was, I have this game, I can sit down and play it. But if I was to turn around and sell this stuff, which maybe eventually I will, it's an investment I'd have to make. But he also told me that, like, if you were to sell the disc resurfacer, that by itself, you could sell it pre-owned for almost what you paid for it. Like, he told me he'd done it before with other disc resurfacers. He would put them up online at like a 10% discount from their brand new price, and someone would buy it within a week. So it's an interesting thing. You know, it's like, it's an investment I'd have to make, but I'd get the money back at the end, after I'd got my use out of it. But yeah, Mario Party 9, this was in perfect shape. Really, really happy with the condition of this one. I can finally add it to my collection, and now I have all the Mario Parties on the Wii. And finally here, to round out this video, I have 2 PlayStation 1 games. One that I just bought because I wanted to play it. The other one, I've been looking for this game for a long, long time. I've just never found it for a price that I was really comfortable paying, and I thought, well, I've got a little bit of money spare. I've got a little bit set aside. I'm doing well. You know, I'll just buy it for this price. It is a good price. But the first one here, he said he never sees copies of this, so I thought that might be a cool one to get. I never see this one either. I see the other Rampage game on the PS1, but I always see Rampage World Tour, but never Rampage Universal Tour. I guess this is a sequel to that one. I love Rampage. I think it's such a fun game. It's a perfect kind of 2-player game. You're destroying these buildings, you're going deeper into the levels, you're trying to fend off the military. It's just a lot of fun. This one was 99 bucks. I think that's about what it goes for. I don't think I could find any sold listings of this one, so it's hard to say what it does sell for. Perfect disc. He ran this through the disc resurfacer for me, and it makes it look brand new. It doesn't leave those like swirly scratches that you see on other ones. This one makes it look brand new. Yeah, Universal Tour. Came with the manual too. Seems like a pretty good price. Not the most I've ever paid for a video game, not even close. But I only pay it for games that I'm really interested in playing, and this is the one that I want to sit down and sink my teeth into for sure. Put it just here for now. And finally, the last game of this video. I've been looking for this game for a long time. I've struggled finding this game for a good price and good condition, and that's always been the issue I've had with PS1 games. You can find them in good condition, but then you're paying more than what they sell for. It seems like it's very rare for old PS1 games, or even retro games in general, to go up on a bid. People always want buy it now. They always want more than what they've sold for in the past. Like, I'll just show the game. The City of Lost Children. He wanted $35 for this, this was a great price. The last copy of this sold online for $49, so $35, that's a really good price. And this one was in immaculate condition. The condition's there, the manual's there, the disc is perfect. Finding PS1 games in great condition, the disc too, is a bit harder. And if I'm going to pay up, I want stuff to be in great condition. You know, because I don't want any issues to come up with the game. You know, if I bought Silent Hill for $1 and it crashes halfway through, I go, well, I got $1 worth out of it. But this one, it was in perfect condition pretty much. This is an interesting game. It's based on a movie from 1995. This is like the adaptation. It's not really a horror game per se. It's more like, it's got a Silent Hill, Resident Evil perspective, like the third-person tank controls, like the camera, like security camera view. But it's, I think you do have to avoid enemies, but if enemies catch you, then it's just it. It's game over. It's no fighting or nothing. So I guess it can be tense, even if it's not a horror. But it's more like puzzles and stuff. I will say, if you know what you're doing in this game, you can beat it in a little under an hour and a half, but that's okay with me. Like, some of my favorite games on the PS1 are games that you can beat really quickly. Where is it? Yeah. I mean, look, some of my favorite games on the PS1 you can beat in 2 hours. If you know what you're doing, you can beat this game in like an hour. But it's one of my favorites. When I buy a game, I'm never really thinking of like value for money. I think like if I play something and I enjoy it, then it was money well spent. And this was a legitimately good deal too. The City of Lost Children. So yeah, that's it. I'll make another video when I make it. I don't expect op shop videos to really come back. Like showing DVDs and CDs and stuff. I'd much rather... What I was doing was getting a big pile, making a video once every week or 2 weeks, and then listing stuff. What I'm doing now is buying stuff and listing it that day when I get home. And I find that's much better. It's much better to get stuff listed and get it out on the market to sell than to wait and sit on it for no reason. So don't expect those videos to come back. I also... I don't want to bring more people into this. I want to keep it lucrative for myself and not so much for other people. I think other people can discover this stuff the same way I did, through trial and error, through, you know, like intuition and scanning stuff that they think might be worthwhile. You know, but I will say when I started doing like reselling, it was a massive help to watch YouTube videos about reselling. Just to give me a general idea of like what would sell, what would not. Because like when I first started buying DVDs, I would buy like really well-known DVDs and I'd think, well, like, this is a triple pack of the Batman movies or something, just to throw out an example. And I would get home and it would turn out they're not worth anything. But now it's like, now I can look at a pile of DVDs and without even knowing, I know if there's something good in there. I can tell just from like cases and stuff I've not seen before, stuff that maybe I've looked up in the past and it's not been worth anything, so I know not to grab it now, but stuff that I've never seen before, I'll quickly look up. Other stuff that I've bought and sold in the past, now I know to look out for it. It's just trial and error. It's really a big process to get into. And I understand why a lot of people who do reselling stay away from DVDs and stuff. Or even like PC games. PC games, you don't know what's worth anything until you find out. You know, a lot of people were buying PC games and getting burnt because they were one-time only use codes and they were worth nothing unless they were brand new sealed. But I buy PC gaming stuff and do very well on it. But yeah, that's it in my house, bidding you guys farewell. Stay good, stay safe. Let me go have dinner, I'm hungry.